You thought that was funny? You thought Donald Trump crying about treasures in Section 230 was funny? Well, Donald Trump last night, I guess it's not last night, it's 4 p.m., yesterday evening. This is maybe one of the funniest tweets I've ever seen. And I want to preempt this.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Right, okay, so what Donald Trump is doing here is a classic. This is a classic, right? So he puts out a bizarre fake news story, no source. He doesn't even use like the Daily Wire or whatever. He doesn't use like fucking, you know, the Post-Millennial. There's just no source, right? So there's no headline image for people to think it, you know, it's real. So he uses quotations. This is like, remember when Donald Trump would call like magazine editors and say, did you know Donald Trump slept with models last night? They were brilliant, right? And he would pretend to be like his own manager to try to get Donald Trump to be in the news stories, right? To have people write about him. This is similar. This guy literally just posts some dumb garbage and puts quotes around it. That's it. There's no attribution or attribution of the quote to someone. It's not like someone on One America News or Newsmax said this. It's just an anonymous quote. This is like Q themselves, an anonymous quote. So let's read. In quotes, everyone, in quotes. Breaking news. In Pennsylvania, there were 205,000, not 200,000. We got to make it a little more believable, right? 200,000 people will obviously sniff out that this is fake news. 205,000. That's right. More votes than there were voters. This alone flips the state to President Trump.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I really, like, what? Like, so there were 205,000 more votes than there were voters. What does that mean? Like, we all know that usually like around 30-40% of the population ends up being participatory in the election. So in order for Pennsylvania to have 205,000 more votes than there were voters, voters would be anyone who's registered to vote, right? So again, we could barely crack 40% of eligible voters actually voting, right? So this means, so let me just look up the population of Pennsylvania. I'm going to debunk this in real time. I know I don't need to, but you know, whatever. By the way, imagine having dyslexia and having to spell out Pennsylvania. Like, I hate that. Right, I grew up like right across the border from Pennsylvania. I still can't get it right. So Pennsylvania's got 12.8 million residents in the state of Pennsylvania. 12.8 million. So let's see how many people voted in the election. Out of 12.8 million people, it seems that Donald Trump got 3.3 million and Joe Biden got 3.45 million. So let's do 3.3, or let's just say that rounds up, right, to 4 plus 3, right? That's 8. And then Joe Jorgensen got like 2 votes, right? So let's say that that's like 8 million. That still leaves, right? That still leaves about 2 million, or rather 4 or 5 million people unaccounted for. But I guess 205,000 more votes than voters. By the way, the quotes, I don't know. Who are they quoting? I don't know. Maybe they're quoting someone with the lowest IQ.
But those with the lowest IQ.
I got nothing. It's over. This is done. It's done. There's nothing else.